Clannad is the acclaimed anime based off the key studio visual novel surrounding a protagonist and his rounds of girls to court. It's well renowned for its emotional drive and character investment that hails it as one of the great anime romances. And people are going to think I'm a cold, heartless bastard, but I don't think it's that sad. This is an instance of hype and spoiling that did it for me. I had the ending already spoiled for me because of internet reasons, and people insisted, "Oh, you're gonna cry at the end. It's so sad. It killed me when I watched it." Well, I gave it the benefit of a doubt and watched it after making a deal with a friend to see it as long as he saw Neon Genesis Evangelion. I powered through all 48 episodes and I didn't shed a single tear. I'm sorry. In fact, I was more confused if anything, but we'll get there. Also, heads up, I will be talking about spoilers here because they are pivotal to my point of view. Tomoya, a blunt and brash teen, is entering high school where he meets new friends and potential romances, including a sickly but caring girl named Nagisa. They have a budding friendship, one that mirrors a nurturing parent protecting a child, which itself begs the question, who's who in that situation? As time moves, Tomoya learns to ease his agitation as he grows closer to Nagisa, eventually falling in love with her. But not all is well as they grow up and age into adulthood and face the problems that adulthood loves kicking them with, including Nagisa's weakening condition. How will these two high school sweethearts continue on in this real world of ill luck? Only Spring can tell. Now, for clarification, I don't hate this show. In fact, I do like it and think it certainly deserves its status, but I have problems with it that I'm sure everyone else doesn't have. This is due in part with being spoiled and overhyped, so that's on me. Let's take this in stride. I like Tomoya and Nagisa. They're both interesting characters that deserve happiness through their mutual but different circumstances. They have a rich relationship that establishes their arcs and chemistry, and I'm hard pressed to think that either aren't strong without the other. They have an unbreakable bond and show that they belong to each other in a genuine, unmanipulated way. But I also really don't remember the other characters. I'm not saying they aren't important, they clearly are. But Clannad's primary draw is Tomoya and Nagisa's connection, and how they bring the best out of each other. The other characters, while good, are very much like supporting characters, and that's it. Except for Nagisa's parents, they're hilarious. I like the music. The soundtrack is beautiful. The second opening is in my top 50 openings and is wickedly good. But let's be real, Dango Daikazaku is the emotional highlight to, well, anything really. It's a song about big, happy Dango family, yet its gentle but melancholic tones, while contextualizing happier times, is the closest thing out of this anime that makes me teary-eyed. What also makes me teary-eyed is the animation. Not in a good way. It's standard, but the way they draw the faces. Hey, you know those animes? Yeah, the cartoons with the big-ass eyes? Yep, those. Seriously, why? I know Japan's focus on the eyes that emphasizes expression, but Jesus, you can play baseball with those eyes. I like how they handle age progression. The kids graduate school and get jobs. They become societal adults. And it's with Tomoya and Nagisa that make it especially endearing, as he goes straight into a job to stay with her and support her, as she has to repeat years for missing too many days in class her last years in school. And it's at this point where I have to warn you. Spoilers! Don't continue if you don't want to be spoiled. Seriously, this was a big deal for me. I'll add a timestamp to indicate when this ends. Just be aware. So, the ending-ish. Tomiya is a full-time electrician supporting his wife Nagisa, who's too sickly to do anything, especially be pregnant. But it happens anyway. And so Tomiya and Nagisa's family begin to worry, which Nagisa says it'll be okay. Her pregnancy passes, and sadly, so does she. Tomiya's depression in suddenly becoming a single father, and losing the one person in his life that gave him an increment of warmth, spirals and ends on an image of Tomoya, Nagisa, and their daughter living a fulfilling life as a wonderful family. The way they handle Tomoya's depression is, while I think a bit cliched, a fitting and mostly well-established arc in this situation, and it does account for how tragic this is, as we, the audience, could only watch these two kids grow up, fall in love, and sadly part. It hits hard and is handled phenomenally until the ending. The ending confused me. So, did the ending really happen? As we see the last shots of Tomio and his family in the flower fields, suddenly we're in a flashback? No, because as we see onward is that the thing that happened didn't happen. So is this an illusion? Is this a dream? Did we suddenly get transported back in time and somehow prevented the current timeline? It's treated like a dream. There are elements and allusions to it being a dream, but then it makes a point to state that this isn't a dream and what's happening is real? If so, how the fuck are we back in time? There was no pre-established sci-fi bullshit in the show, and this points towards just a daydream, but then it just ends. All of it. As if saying, okay guys, I know that ending bummed you out, so here's the true ending, the one you want. What? No, keep it as is. I'm fine with it being an OVA, but it wasn't. It was treated as if Tomio's dream was real. He looks at peace in the field, but he wasn't? Don't give us such confusing endings. I know people love this ending, but I have a real problem with it. I'm sorry. It just doesn't contextualize enough, yet steps on a lot of emotional reasoning behind the show. I'm actually starting to get pissed about it. I'm gonna stop. Okay, Clannad. It's good. It has one of the best romances in anime and a killer soundtrack. That's about it. For me, anyway. I know it's beloved by many, and I get it. But man, spoilers really suck because I want to be a part of that. The characters are mostly moot, the animation style is polarizing, and probably the worst offender, its tragedy gets lost in the finale's odd choices. It's a good pick for anyone to watch, it just wasn't for me on many levels. It's definitely worth it for the romance and music alone, but I just don't get it as much as other people. Oh, am I being ambiguously confusing with this ending? Oh well.